Hello, my name is Stefano,
And my name is Fernando.
and today we are here for another episode of the All This Science podcast, the podcast that describes an interesting aspect of science in 5 minutes or less. Today we are going to talk about a new trend among young people, vaping. Vaping, as you probably know, is the act of inhaling a vaporized liquid into the lungs. This is done for flavor or nicotine, which we will get into in a second. The act is similar to smoking, however there are many benefits over the former, including reduced carcinogens, cancer-causing substances, reduced cost to the user, and other effects that are less harmful to the user than smoking.
Here are some quick facts about vaping. There are 599 additives in a cigarette. Once those additives are combusted, they can create 4,000 harmful chemical compounds. In average, electronic liquid, there are only 4 ingredients: propylene glycol, vegetable glycerin, flavoring, and sometimes nicotine, all of which are approved to be safe by the FDA. Over 9 million adults vape regularly in the US alone, according to Wells Fargo. Also, electronic cigarettes sales have jumped from $1,700 million to $10 billion in just 5 years.
Vaping is starting to sound like a pretty good deal at this point, but what are some of the downsides or possible risks to an e-cigarette user daily? A study published in the New England Journal of Medicine claimed that aerosol or vapor produced by e-cigs contains formaldehyde, a known carcinogen. The article reads, "We have observed that formaldehyde-containing hemiacetals, shown by others to be entities that are detectable by means of nuclear magnetic resonance (NMR) spectroscopy, can be formed during the e-cigarette or vaping process." End quote. However, the process of which formaldehyde is formed only ever occurs when the cotton that is used to absorb and vaporize the liquid when heated is burnt. That means that if the user is regularly switching out the cotton with fresh unsaturated cotton, there should be little to no risk of inhaling formaldehyde at all.
A study published in Nicotine and Tobacco Research shows data taken from an ongoing web-based smoking cessation trial. The research consisted of 2,123 people over 3 months, providing follow-up data for every 30 days. The result of the test shows that 31.7% of participants reported using a vaporizer to quit in the past 3 months. One of the most interesting points about the test was that during the follow-up, vaporizer users made more of an effort to quit and took more cessation aids than smokers who did not use vaporizers to quit.
That's great and all, but how does vaping actually work? Well, vaping has two parts to it, the vaporizing and the inhaling. The vaporizing happens in the e-cig when the liquid is absorbed by the cotton. The cotton is then superheated by strands of wire to produce a vapor. This vapor is then inhaled by the user. When it reaches the lungs, most of the ingredients are simply blown back out of the exhale, with the exclusion of the nicotine, which is extracted by the alveoli and enters the bloodstream. Here's some debunked myths that may or may not have led you to believe that vaping is a bad thing and it's doing harm to our youth. Vaporizers are a gateway to tobacco for teenagers. This is a major concern for most health professionals and institutes. However, several studies show that increase in vaporizer use in high schoolers did not translate into an increase in smoking. In fact, this fact sheet by Centers of Disease Control and Prevention shows that the increase in vaping actually occurred at the same time when there was a decrease in smoking among the high schoolers. Another myth: nicotine in e-liquid can cause cancer. While nicotine is a habit-forming drug and can be extremely addictive, it does not cause cancer and isn't a carcinogen on its own. Multiple studies by independent groups as well as government agencies tried to find a link between nicotine and cancer, but none succeeded.
Another one is vaporizers are explosive. After reading all these news stories on the internet and watching the videos that show that vaporizers exploding people's pockets and batteries venting in cars while they're charging. However, vapes are no more explosive than our smartphone or any other gadget that contain batteries. In other words, vaporizers are not the culprit, but it all comes down to battery safety and education. If used properly and charged with the recommended charger, vaporizers are only as explosive as your smartphones.
Thank you for listening to another episode of All This Science. For more information, please email us at allthisscience@gmail.com. We hope you enjoyed it and learned something new.
Bye-bye.